Liquorland are proud partners of the Sash for another season of footy. Liquorland have all your drinks for when the siren calls. Ryan, is there a go-to drink after a bit of loss like that?
Yeah, I've got a weird one. I drink tequila straight.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? No salt or lime or lemon or any of that kind of thing?
No. Gemma's been buying me some really nice drops from Liquorland, and they're pretty good just straight in there. Ice sometimes, but yeah, I found it's my go-to recently.
Did you consider maybe just putting some lime in your eyes after the game, or?
Yeah, a bit of hot sauce as well.
Yeah, it was about that. Pop into Liquorland today. Pick up all of your favourite drinks. Liquorland, from the land you love. Please drink responsibly. Let's start the show. It was agony at the G as 3 quarters of footy wasn't enough to hold back the Collingwood tsunami. This is the Sash, definitely not the official podcast of the Essendon Football Club. I'm your host, Rob, here with you as always. Joining me in studio is Mert and Ryan. Merty, it's a dark day.
Yeah, I'm cut, Rob.
Yeah?
I'm really cut. I had a bit of time to stew over it. I'm cut. I'm still cut.
You're very cut.
I'm really cut.
And Ryan, it's been a while since I've seen you. How you going, man?
Yeah, horrible. Like I reckon this is the darkest I've ever felt after a game. Like
really?
I don't know where my emotions
I don't know.
have been, but the only reason I've come to this beautiful podcast located in the shittest suburb in Victoria, Collingwood, is because I think I need a therapy session.
Yeah.
I'm here to see my psychiatrist.
Yeah.
That is you.
By the psychiatrist.
You're the psychiatrist.
I have no training.
I mean, at
You're gonna need it, Rob.
The siren went, and I was like, just laugh it off. Let's have a little laugh.
Yeah.
Got to the train station, got on the train, and I just started murmuring to myself, like, fuck, we could have done this, like, we could have done that.
Yeah.
On the walk home, just random expletives were coming out.
Yeah.
It's been tough.
How far did you kick your dogs?
No, luckily the dogs were the only thing that made me happy when I got home last night. But just don't know how to feel. It's after that you go, how did we lose that? 7 goals conceded in the last quarter, 6 in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
But then there's also a side of me saying, if you said to me at the start of the year we lost to Collingwood by 13 points, I probably would have taken it.
I'd still be so cut.
But the fact is, no one's going to have a better opportunity to beat Collingwood. They were so undermanned. Like, we even forget, like, Jeremy Howe wasn't playing. It was the best opportunity to steal 4 points from them, probably improve our opportunity to play finals, which, you know, is still a big question mark. But let's digress, gentlemen.
Yeah, I find it interesting that this is the darkest you've ever been, because I reckon there's
there's a fair bit of recency bias behind that. I reckon.
And
I've seen you in much worse states.
And you didn't see me post game.
I reckon there's a lot of listeners who would have heard you over several years of this podcast who would be like, don't know, Dave, I've heard you pretty dark before.
Oh, I was giving it to so many Collingwood supporters, and so I think a few listeners were behind as well, and we were getting along, we were giving out high fives, and Collingwood supporters were telling us to sit down, and we were, you want us to sit down,
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, I'm blaming actually Mert, because he went to the football sober, which is a big no-no. No-no.
I went to the bathroom at 3/4 time, and everyone in there was like, all the fans were like, go Dons. And then some guy just started baking all the Collingwood supporters, been like, you effing dogs, you this, you that. And I was like, it's not done, guys. It's not done yet. It's not done.
We knew it was coming, didn't we?
I copped a number of text messages basically celebrating that we'd won at 3/4 time.
Oh, no.
Including one from a Carlton supporter who I won't name, but I'll never be speaking to him again. So,
yeah.
Does his name start with M?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead to me.
Yeah. I would say, I think it was when their second goal went through when Ash Johnson kicked one.
That was a good goal.
That was an unbelievable goal.
Great goal. I'm not sure where you guys were sitting, but I was up in the up at the Hilltop Hoods, and I was like, we've stopped running. This is done. Like I could see it so early in the quarter that the energy level had dropped, and they just couldn't find a way to stop it, and it just happened again and again and again and again.
I mean, for me, it was the contest work in the middle, which was the most stark contrast from 3rd quarter to the last quarter. I don't think we didn't win one. I wouldn't be surprised if we had something like a...
It was 10-13 in clearances in the last.
Like 10 for us, 13 for them.
Yeah.
You sure?
Can't have been.
Oh, that's the only thing I saw today.
Like total clearances or centre bounce clearances?
Oh, I don't
Can't
know.
have been centre bounce
That
because
would
they
have been
weren't 10. They weren't
Guys,
23 goals.
I'm the one here for therapy. You're meant to listen.
Yeah, so I think we really, if you look at the critical elements of why we were so good in that third quarter, for me it was Draper, 2 it was Paco in the guts, and our clearance work was just fantastic, the best it has been probably all season. For some reason, I understand Laverty obviously went down, which obviously upset I guess our kind of efficiency down back and how well we were working down there.
Probably the structure down there as well.
But even that being said, and obviously Hobbsy comes in as the sub, Paco then, he attended 1 centre bounce in the last quarter.
Yeah.
He just sat at full forward the whole time.
Yeah.
And like some, people were very willing to have a crack at him saying he's unfit, but he was moving fine. And he played out that whole third quarter more or less in the guts, and he looked like he was going to be the game breaker.
Yeah.
So I think we really missed an opportunity there. For some reason, we made the right call in the third quarter and we went away from it in the fourth quarter. I thought I was really, really, really disappointed with the rucks.
Yeah, big time.
I thought Frampton beat Draper, which is just the last thing I saw coming. And at the end of the day, like we had opportunities in the last quarter. They weren't the easiest of opportunities, but neither was Ash Johnson's. Those are the opportunities that you just have to take.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so Wiedemann, Menzie both had, pretty big opportunities, and then obviously Draper from about 30 metres out straight in front. We hit any of those and it's a completely different game for mine because you interrupt their momentum. All you really need is one going the other way, and that changes the course of the game.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we were unlucky, but at the same time, we didn't take our chances, and you could say the same thing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the midfield a bit because, I think that was where the game was won and lost. Even if Laverty had played out the game, the rate it was going into our defence, I don't know if it would have changed anything, to be honest. I don't
think Frampton takes that mark if Laverty's there.
Possibly, but that's just one. I think just as a collective, it was just like it was in there for the entire quarter, just about. Like it felt that way. Like I'm not sure what the time and forward half percentage was, but it was just there. And I feel like as good as Lav is, and it did throw a lot of things out, I think just the way that our midfield just got smashed in that last quarter, it changed everything. And there's obviously guys like Dacos everyone's harping on about, and obviously great player, but guys like Tom Mitchell are like such an asset for them. Like I thought his contested work really, really shone up some of our guys, and it's something we've spoken about a bit on this show is about the balance of guys coming into the middle for the centre bounce and what it was going to be like without Merritt. Merritt's absence was noticeable.
Yeah,
we could tell that. We rely on him a lot. He's our captain after all. And I think the fact that guys, whether it be, Caldwell, Stringer, Perkins, Langford, or anyone having time there, you could tell they just weren't, obviously not at the same level. And then Hobbs coming back from his VFL spell just didn't look up to the speed of the game. Like it felt like the game was going too frantic for him by the time he got on.
I think Hobbs was all right. Probably hard to get into a game, especially such a high intense game.
Of course,
coming off the bench.
Yeah.
There was that one kick in a forward 50 where he just sat it on, I think it was Paco's head, and sat it like way over his head, and that was the one thing I noticed. But away from that, I thought his work in the contest was good. His hands were good. It's a really tough ask, like you say, Damo, to try and get him come straight into a really hot game like that and have an impact. But
of course, yeah. And that's not me potting him by any stretch. It's more just going, this is how I saw it play out. It just felt like even him coming in wasn't enough of an X factor to change the way that it was going.
I thought our hit outs to advantage were a massive thing. Well, I just thought we hit it down their throat every time. I was going to say,
I actually think even in the first 3 quarters, I think the Collingwood midfield were on top of us.
Yeah.
We smashed them in the third.
We were just taking our opportunities going inside 50, but that last quarter just
taunted you.
I had nightmares last night. I woke up 2 or 3 times.
Were you screaming?
Reliving.
Were you crying?
I was teary.
Did Jem hold you?
No,
No.
very disappointing.
Come on, Jem. Yeah, no, look, their midfield was outstanding. And yeah, like we'll talk about the rucks. Like, you know, it's always funny how this happens. Like you get the article written about Draper and Phillips the day before or whatever.
I was thinking about that on the drive
it's always that sort of way where guys come out, have a big game, and then there's a little bit more sort of heat on them. And, you know, coming from the Melbourne game, clearly Collingwood have been like, all right, we haven't got the cattle that we would like in that position, so we're going to attack them. What Kruger and Frampton were doing, particularly Phillips, was what Phillips would do to other good ruckmen. Like they were bodying him, they were throwing him out of the way. Yeah, they gave away some frees, but the directive was to be super aggressive, and it paid off for them.
Yeah, I mean, Phillips had, I think, 0 marks.
Yeah.
He had an absolute stinker.
Is big because the advantage we've been getting from him this season is his marking ability.
Yeah.
Whether that be forward or on the wing, when trying to transition out of their defense or our defense. So it's so disappointing. I mean, they both had 25 hit-outs each. Frampton had 28. I can't see what the hit-out to advantage was, but I'm assuming it's probably not a good percentage.
Yeah. Flip, like we've always known this with Flip, is that he's in the side, he plays a couple of good games, and then he has a bad one.
Who wrote that article? We need to find them and hurt them.
It was right. I think it was one of the AFL guys. But that's the thing. That's just the way Flip's always been. Like he never plays a huge spell of games in a row where he's really good, which is why he's been number 2 ruckman in his career and not a number 1 at one of the clubs. And this was just one of those games. It's one of those games where he can't stick a mark. His tap over isn't good. He's getting outbodied, and he's just not finding the form he had. And yeah, he probably had a little bit more attention on him than he had at Adelaide Oval against Melbourne. And then Sam was clearly a lot better than Flip was. Got on the end of it to kick a goal, but then obviously at the death, we really needed that one to, take it and potentially stem the flow. He didn't.
I definitely feel that if it was a home game, we may have been able to hold on there. I definitely think the Collingwood faithful really did turn into that 19th player. And my scumbag boss, who's a member, actually called me today and was saying every time they were scoring a goal, Darcy Moore would run up to the cheer squad in the crowd and tell him, I can't hear you, get louder and louder. Yeah. And just every single goal he was doing that.
Yeah.
It was loud when Draper was lining up for that set shot.
Yeah.
So, but
so
it was
rabid.
Close.
Fuck, I hate those pricks.
They are.
He was so close to kicking that, and the Wiedemann one, it's just like, Paco was right there.
Yeah, that was frustrating. I thought.
I think Sam was good though.
I was going to say outside of that moment, I thought Weeds had a really good game. Took some pretty crucial marks. Got on the end
well.
Got on the end of it. Kicked some goals.
Yeah, took some big contested marks as well.
Yeah, which he did in that first game of the season, but then hasn't really done much of since.
Hasn't been able to get a good run since then, really.
So yeah, I was really happy for him for that. But yeah, him, like a few players, are definitely going to be ruining some moments that didn't go their way. Menzies obviously the other one who, there was shades of was it Leroy Jetta in that one where he was running back to goal?
That's 09.
Yeah, it was. I was getting those sort of flashbacks where I'm like, you just got to get onto it, get the clean hands, and then he falls over it. Stumbles out, obviously missing a few shots as well.
I mean, we missed a lot of opportunities early on as well.
And they did too. Like, this is the thing.
They missed some absolute sitters.
Yeah, they missed some absolute sitters in that first half. A lot of things went our way. We got a few calls that went our way, which was good.
We got a fair few calls, I think.
Some Collins boys do need to understand how holding the ball works, and also how
advantage or dragging someone's arms down blatantly in a marking contest,
and dropping the mark, which is another one. And then who was the bloke who needs Dirk Thatcher in the back of his head and was a good foot away from the ball? Yeah, so man, there's one of those games. It's so hard to sit back and review. I didn't want to watch the tape today. I didn't want to reflect on it. I just want to bury this memory.
Tape's dream. I think realistically, there's positives to kind of take out of the game. Definitely. I don't know if we actually want to talk about them because I'm not really in the mood to talk about them.
You want to talk about the learnings?
I'd rather talk about the negatives.
Well, let's get the negative out of the system. Let's get it
just
out.
Airing them is going to really get it out of my system. This is going to stay with me for a long, long time.
Yeah, we're here for therapy. Get it out.
Yeah. This therapy session sucks. It's not doing shit. You suck, Rob.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about your mother, Matt. Tell me about it. What's she like?
Was it the Kruger goal where he was just uncontested, marked it by himself?
Ginnivan.
Yeah, maybe it was Ginnivan.
But
I swear BZT got shepherded out of that.
Yeah, he did.
Blatantly. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Where was that call?
I guess
BZT could have got to that.
It was blatant. That was clearly a free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple. What else?
We go through the players.
You want to bin a couple?
Yeah, I want to bin some people.
No, we don't need to bin people.
We're binning people.
We're not binning people.
We're
fine.
Okay, Darcy Parish, what did we think?
Still good, but disappointing in a way.
I think he was okay. I think he was at his par of what he is as a player, which is a very good player. But I don't think he was above or below anything I wouldn't expect from him, to be honest.
Worst game for the season.
Really?
Well,
he's had an awesome season.
He's had a really good season.
Yeah.
I also feel like he didn't get. Look, he didn't get the support.
He did have 9 clearances.
Merritt wasn't there.
Yeah.
Setterfield
I don't reckon that's where we missed Merritt. I reckon we missed Merritt the most in our disposal inside 50.
Yeah.
Like that kick, that even just changing the angles. If you watch that game, that Richmond-Melbourne game, what Richmond did so well in the first half, particularly maybe the first 3 quarters, was that they didn't kick it directly to May, which is what we did exactly to Darcy Moore.
Yeah.
And they changed the angles.
We did that to Stephen May the week before, but we couldn't do it to Darcy Moore. Yeah.
So they just changed the angles. They did short chips, which we've been doing most of the season. And I think Merritt on his left coming inside, in the ground.
45-degree angle.
It opens the game up a lot more. So
definitely.
It also opens the game up for the smalls as well. And I thought, everyone's willing to have a crack at Menzie. I think Menzie's been really good all year. Owen Davey Jr. just looked way out of his depth for mine. And I think
he looked lethargic very early.
I think
that's what I saw.
Loath to say this, but I think he certainly seemed to hold back from a few contests. Certainly noticed one with Pendlebury, and I think the last or maybe the third. I think there'll be just a few plays that we see or that the coaches see, sitting him down that they'll pull him up on watching the replay. And short turnaround to the Geelong game. I wouldn't mind seeing a tipper or someone else just come in.
It'll be 5-6 changes guaranteed, considering the turnaround. I don't think there's any doubt in that. Like there were 3 guys got held over: Tipper, Jones, and Hind didn't play. Massimo, that's 4. That's the 4. Sorry.
Yep.
And then potentially even 1 or 2 more.
I think Tipper makes a difference yesterday.
I know
hindsight's 2020, and it's easy to say when we've had a couple of smalls have a stinker, but
But that's the thing. Like, I understand a lot of people were very frustrated by their performances, and everyone's always going to be after a loss like that. But Menzie and Davey, they're 2 guys who are both under 10 games in their career. I think one's under 5 games or whatever it is. Yeah. And people posting shit online and saying, never play again, then they're up to stand. It's like, give me a spell. Give me a break. Like, this is a good time for you to be detoxing from social media.
That's good.
Like, I understand everyone's pissed off. And yes, they were poor. We all saw that they were poor. It happens. But they haven't played 10 games. Yeah. Like, come on. Just wear the fact that,
we're a young team.
We're the fact that it's a young team. We're the fact that we're going to have some John Worsfold learnings and we're going to move on.
Fucking lessons. Fuck their fucking lessons.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're going to have some. So far, I think I've watched every interview Brad Scott has done. He's yet to say learnings, which I'm loving.
Yeah, there's some dumb journo who spoke about learnings and then quoted him saying that there was something to learn from the game.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Yeah, but look, that's my point. It's like, yes, guys, I understand you're frustrated, but like, come on, wind your neck in a little bit. Was good to see Brad on the front foot, at least in his press conference and on an AFL 360, just being like, yep, there's a lot of things we're gonna have to review from that. Like, that's pretty poor. So I do love the way Brad speaks, and he does comfort me after a game like that. Yes, Ryan.
Dyson Heppel.
Worst kick I've ever seen.
It's such a slow motion.
I think I almost reckon there was a point in that game.
It off the instep.
I reckon there was a point in that game. There was one. I think it was a handball, and it actually looked to me like he thought the Collingwood player was wearing an Essendon jumper. From where I was sitting, it looked like he looked at him, and then it was when the lights were changing, the lights had come on, and the jumpers, they're not very good class jumpers, and I reckon he just went, oh, there's one of my players. Oh, no, it's not.
It's the only target he hit all day, in fact. No, that's not fair.
That's not
fair.
That's not fair.
Can't say that.
Come on, Mert.
He played well last week, but I just feel like his intensity was not there. We definitely just feel, if Hobbs was there from the start of the game, could have helped. But
I think if in hindsight we're re-putting that team out,
this whole podcast is about hindsight.
I think you'd be playing
2020 vision.
You'd be playing Hind or Massimo instead of halfback. I think is the way. And I will be, considering that he's one of our senior players off a short break, I will be incredibly shocked if
he's playing.
Dyson is one of the people who is not managed this weekend.
I'd be playing, hindsight, I would be playing Hind as a sub because that run in the last quarter I would have seriously helped.
I think that would have been it because I guess that's probably what I was saying with Hobbs, is that even though like he was doing his thing, he probably just doesn't have that kind of X factor that he's just going to come in and change the game a little bit.
I would have played Hobbs to start with. I wouldn't have brought ADJ back yet.
Yeah,
and I would have had Hobbs in the starting side, and I would have had Hind.
Yeah. That's probably fair. And I guess that gives you a little bit more opportunity with what you do with Caldwell if you've got Hobbs in the middle. Do you want to talk about...
Caldwell started really well on a positive note.
His hands are so good.
Yeah.
He looks like he was just going to be a game breaker for us.
I really liked his fists, particularly when they were hitting stomachs. I thought they were really good.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't think he even did.
He barely touched him.
It was pretty soft.
He barely touched him.
So soft.
He barely touched him. For what an incredibly talented young player Nick Dacos is, he flops like a fish on the side of a boat.
Mate,
so
Alexander the Great would be rolling in his grave.
Why?
Mate, king of fucking Macedonia.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm forgetting my history.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be happy.
You wouldn't be happy. Yeah, great player. Don't get me wrong. But gee,
we can go at him. He's soft as butter.
He loves some milk.
He's incredible, but he's soft as butter.
He smashed us in that last quarter.
He smashed us all quarters.
Yeah. It would have been great to see Draper just run through him though.
Yeah.
But there's at least when he wasn't playing the midfield, I don't know what you he was honestly so I said, I sat up on the top deck and I was watching him, just the kid's ability of just getting into space so that they find him.
Well, he just runs all day.
Yeah,
I don't know what
he's incredible tank.
With him.
Incredible tank.
I've got a game plan theory for you.
Yeah.
If you know, we've got the 5-day break, you're going to manage a few players. Dacos is killing us. Tell someone just go bury him. Get a week. Stuff it.
Get away. Go
well, you're going to be managed anyway.
But if you're burying,
I agree.
If you're burying someone to the point that that you've hurt someone, you're probably getting more than one game off.
Nah.
Well, if Mason Redmond, if he just does another Ginnivan choke slam to Dacos, the way Dacos stays down, he's staying down for weeks.
Maybe.
And it's not even going to be a free kick. So
yeah, maybe. We've definitely learnt that. Gee, they do put the whistle away on Anzac Day, which I like. It is a positive. Do we want to talk about some positives?
What are they?
I mean, for 3 quarters, I think our defensive structure looked awesome. I really liked the way that we were defending across the ground. And
and then what happened?
Well, if football was hockey, Rob, we'd be playing in periods and we would have won, but it's quarters and we lost. Yeah. So it's not good enough.
Yeah, no, but
I think... That's a great point, Damo.
Thank you.
I think that coming from where we've been, from where we were round 23 last year, under the Ben Rutten Gegenpress, this is looking a hell of a lot better. And I actually feel like we're competing with teams. Yes, we lost. Yes, it sucks. Yes, we blew it. Yes, all those negative things. Yes, I need, something to ease the pain. Whatever it is, we're actually a better team. And externally, people are saying that we're a better team. Whereas in the past, where we'd have good wins and be like, yeah, what a great win that was, everyone would go, nah, you're no good. Yeah, I actually feel like we're getting there.
I'm caught in two minds because on one hand, I think in 4 weeks' time, we're going to be bottom 4. And on the other hand, I think at the end of the season, we're going to win a final.
Yeah.
I'm completely with you there.
Yeah. And I'm also I'm just so cut.
I can tell that you're cut.
I'm so cut.
Tell me about these feelings.
Just
that is an angry man. That is an angry man.
Is Laverde?
If our video editor can make sure they get Mert's reaction there, I really want to see that. So.
Forgot about the video. That's good. So cut. Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know what the Laverde incident was. Was it bad?
Him and was it Myercheck
Must
or
be Myercheck.
Frampton or Kruger? Him and someone, they just hit each other at full pelt. It was a massive hit, and he just AC joint like top of the shoulder, and like as soon as he hit me, like he grabbed his shoulder, it was sore.
So he's out.
Well,
mate.
Bradley was saying on 360, he said it's one of those things where either it can be like a small
Stinger.
A small stinger, maybe a week or two, or if it's really bad, surgery 10, 12 weeks.
And
Is that what he actually said?
Well, I don't think he said 10, 12 weeks, but he said surgery, which means a while.
and so Don's factor.
I think
2 seasons.
career ending,
Done.
I reckon.
Ever.
Yeah,
Gone.
retired. Yeah. He will be such a big loss if he is out for a period of time.
Fingers crossed.
It's obviously good that Kane and Zach Reid are playing footy in the VFL, but
Kane's just had, I think, his worst game of the season after coming back from 2 weeks out with concussion. And Zach Reid's played 3 quarters in the VFL, so I think they're both a fair way off. Which leaves us with a serious predicament.
Langford's going back, I think, on Friday.
Yeah, so we got Langford to cover Hawkins and Cameron, which should be pretty fun. Go team.
Yeah, how about we put our leading goal kicker
at fullback?
Oh,
Speaking of some good things, probably the highlight of the game, as far as Essendon was concerned, was
Langford.
Kyle Langford, ice cold, just giving it to that feral.
That just sums them up, though. They're just scum.
Yeah.
Like the way you flipped him off.
Yeah, like you can drop the ball on the ground, have a bit of a laugh, but then he starts giving him like all these ones. It's like, come on, pal.
Yeah.
Can you even spell Collingwood, mate? Come on, chill. But yes, it was great. Langford and all those things that we've just cut out of the podcast were great. But yeah.
Yeah, Langers was good.
Yeah. Shame we didn't get the result because it would have been the ultimate humiliation for that poor sod. But yeah, I thought Langers was awesome.
Trey Rusco sucks.
Okay.
I'm so glad he's not playing for our football club.
Bo McCreary's very good. We couldn't tackle him in that last quarter. Every time we got near him, we just bounced off him.
Let's not talk about them, actually. It's making me feel
Andy
like
McGrath. Really, he embarrassed Bobby Hill, I thought.
He took the game on and broke.
He was really good.
A few lines, yeah.
There was a few Collingwood supporters near me, the ones who could string sentences together. And I heard a bit of chirping like, gee, McGrath's playing a really good game. And I know a few people were hyping Bobby Hill coming into the game for me, but I think Andy was great.
Pants pulled down, I thought.
And that's what he's good at. He's good at just shutting down players.
He is.
Yeah, particularly ones.
Still had an impact on the game, though.
He was
massive.
Yeah. He was awesome.
He's great.
He was definitely one of our best.
A few pivotal one-on-ones as well.
Yeah. I thought Mason Redman was very good.
Yeah. Red Dog's always good, though.
Definitely one of our better players.
Love him.
We spoke about Parrish. I thought he was good.
Ridley was measured again.
Setterfield was good until we had to move him off to Goey. Like, DeGoey still had a bit of an impact and is unfortunately a very good player.
DeGoey was really good.
But I thought Setterfield was okay.
Shield?
Started well and then faded and did virtually nothing. I thought he was really good in that first.
Yeah. I thought Nick Martin was all right.
I was going to say
Marto was good.
I thought he could have been better.
I thought he kicked.
Kicked the goal.
I thought Duzza could have been better.
Could have been better. I think
that was his worst game for the year.
Yeah, he was very quiet on that wing.
Coming off his best ever game.
Yeah.
Hard to back it up. And yeah, Collingwood, if one thing they do have, and look, Melbourne have it too to their credit, but they have experienced wingmen. And it's the one thing. It's the one thing that you can't just beat is guys like Sidebottom and Pendlebury. They've got footy IQ and they just find the right spot. They do the right things, and then
Pendlebury is actually managing to find more time than ever. It happened 3 or 4 times where
it's crazy.
He was surrounded by 4 of our defenders, and all of a sudden they all just ran in the other direction.
They all think he's about to run 5 meters one way, and he goes, "No, I'm just going to stand still," and everyone's just going to like.
Must be a horrible feeling being a player, just be like, just feel like you're getting dragged away from him. I don't know.
That's my entire junior career is people running away from me and then not getting anywhere near it. So I know how it feels. But yeah, he's got
Job used to do it.
He's got a way of not getting tackled. So yeah,
thought Archie's goal was mint.
Was mint.
They were so loud and he just silenced them.
Yeah.
They love complaining.
Oh
yeah, a lot of complaining after a win. So
has there?
Yeah.
You know what's great?
I hate them.
Yeah, what's great?
I've won 1 flag in the last 30 years.
Let's hope it stays that way.
I've won 2 in the past 50.
Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's satisfying.
Yeah.
It is really
Collie
good.
wobbles is really a thing.
Yeah. Well,
I hope so.
I will if it comes down to the pointy end of the season, and assuming Essendon is not part of it, which at least
no, I reckon we will be.
Well, we played them round 23.
Yeah, I'm talking like
they're probably going to knock us out of finals.
Anyway,
I reckon we knock them.
Yeah, I reckon we knock them.
Either way, like prelims, grand finals, that sort of stuff. If it's anyone versus Collingwood, I think I speak for most Essendon supporters. Looking at the other teams who are pretty good at the moment, going that if it's a St Kilda, a Melbourne, a Geelong, a Brisbane, I'm going for them over Collingwood every day of the week.
Definitely.
Every day of the week.
I reckon Collingwood will be straight sets if they're top 4.
You reckon?
No.
Nothing. Wow, typical discussion here on the Sash.
Hey,
make a claim, back out of it straight away.
Yeah, I'm a coward. How many weeks have we got for Coxie? Because we could really use. Oh, yeah, great.
Does it going up again?
Yeah.
What?
7.
Was it 5 to 6 last week?
Yeah. It's like a joke.
It is a joke.
It's like, is someone fit? No, they're not fit. It's just
Sardis is still 8 to 9.
Oh, I thought he was 6 to 7 last week.
I said
James Stewart is not walking on this planet currently. He's still TBC. He's been lost.
We clipped up that video of me, Damo, and Jesse talking about that. And I don't know how TikTok works, but that video has had 15,000 views of us talking about James Stewart's foot. Doesn't make sense. I don't understand. I'm just going to upload this stuff. And then I was like, oh, I should probably post another video on TikTok. And I open it up and it's just like, you have 1,000 notifications. I'm like, what the hell's happened? Something's gone viral. And it's literally us being like, where's James Stewart? I don't know. Anyway.
I was
could have used him. Could have used a guy like Stewart's on a game like that. Could have used him.
I was actually looking at the old one, but it seems they just haven't updated it for 3 weeks in true Essendon form.
Yeah, I know. I think because usually they do it. It's usually on a Wednesday, isn't it? Isn't that when they do it? Or a Tuesday?
This is like 2 weeks ago because it's saying Sam Wiedemann's concussed.
No, because the whole AFL do it. They usually do an update. No, because if you Google AFL injury list,
yeah, that's what I did,
and then
riveting stuff for our listeners.
Yeah, this is good. So should we talk about Collingwood supporters?
I mean, I think
what they do in their downtime?
No, we're not talking.
Your hint.
We're not talking about the golden jacket.
I was going to say.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Don't do it, Josh.
Leave it at that.
Oh, Coxie's 5 weeks. Laughing.
There we go.
Flag.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Before we bury this game forever, because I don't want to talk about it. I'm sure no one else does. Do you have any final things you'd like to raise, good or bad, before I ask you guys about something else?
I think the game should be earlier.
It's an outrageous start time for one game for the day.
Especially when I have to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
It's just...
Someone said it so it leads into 7 News. Is that right?
No, I reckon...
Yeah, I think it is a ratings thing.
I was thinking it was just so people go out into the streets, spend money at pubs and venues beforehand.
It's 7 News.
It's done on the TV ratings.
Yeah. Oh, well, I hate
because it used to be like a 2:20 game or a 2:10 game.
I do remember it being that time, yeah.
And you used to have to wait at the pub like the alcoholics that we are and wait for the doors to open after getting our seats.
Waiting for the sun to reach the line like Lenny in The Simpsons. Yeah. Yeah, good. All right.
Yeah, it's outrageous. That has to change.
Yeah, make it earlier.
I won't have it.
Yeah. And they need more ADJ badges.
None.
Can never find any.
I went to 4. They don't stock them. I asked the guy who's like, oh, is he a new player? I was like, what kind of question is that, mate?
Yeah.
Of course, he's seriously asking me who ADJ is. Anyway, I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, well, sometimes it takes them a while to stop the badgers. I was like, well, this has never happened in the past because every round one, I've gone straight to your Coxie or your Archie or
Mert bought like
it may
7
be.
Josh Greens his first season.
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't get a tree beard after that game against North Melbourne. I couldn't get one.
That was all
I went to every single one. I was like, have you got Zach Clark? And they're like, no stock. I'm like, why?
I'll tell you what, mate, they are selling for tens of thousands of dollars on eBay right now.
I wish I had one.
I think that's me done, though, to talk about the game.
That's you done. Mert, anything else before we bury it and I ask you about something else?
I just hate Collingwood.
I mean,
I think they're actually my most hated team over Carlton now.
I still really enjoyed Carlton's loss.
Yeah.
It was a perfect weekend up until we played.
Yeah.
I had 2 separate phone calls today from 2 different people who support 2 different clubs, both of which at the end of the call said, you know what? I've actually started to hate Collingwood a lot more recently. And I was like, welcome.
The way they carry on and the way the media carries on around them.
Yeah. Because they've got probably the biggest supporter base and it just, and just rolls.
Biggest list of criminals on their list.
Well, that's good to know. All right. I'll ask you guys this one. Looking ahead for the next few weeks. Big couple of games. Cats at the G, Port away, Lions away. We're currently 4-2. I'll ask you first, Ryan, where do you think we will sit after these 3 big games?
Lose to Cats. I think we win in Adelaide.
Yep. The Fortress, yep.
And then we lose at the Gabba.
Mate, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're going back to West Lakes.
Back to West Lakes.
Yeah.
We might have to head over.
Can I come?
Yeah. We're doing it.
So
go see Gornery with King.
And
Sudi.
5-4?
Yeah.
5-4. I'd be pretty happy with 5-4 considering those games. And then we start to play a few.
Do we get easy people after then?
I think we play West Coast and a North maybe. And then I think Dreamtime's in there as well, which is.
So we beat West Coast, lose to Clarko.
I feel like we bottled Dreamtime, to be honest. Oh, no, sorry. Dreamtime is after Brisbane. So it's that, then West Coast, then North, and then we play the Blues, which...
that is so simply must win.
Oh, that is simply must win.
Oh, I think our game plan works really well against theirs.
Yeah.
But we suck, so...
But Charlie Curnow's a very good player.
We always lose
Never
to
heard of
Carlton,
him. We always lose to Richmond. We haven't beaten Richmond in 8 years.
Richmond's the one.
Richmond suck though. Like they suck.
They don't look good. But they'll turn it on for us.
Mm-hmm.
The worrying thing is I've watched the last 2 Richmond games, and in both games they collapsed in the last quarter.
Oh god.
And that's what we've done. Yeah. And I'm like, oh god.
Sweet. So a draw.
Yeah. There was a minute where I thought it was gonna be a draw yesterday. I was like, oh god, this is another draw. I would have taken a draw.
Oh, I hate draws.
I don't know anyone who likes draws, and if you do like draws, you're a strange person.
Better than a loss.
All right. Should we play some hot takes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's definitely do it.
Due to my emotions after the game, I didn't share the link, but people do still send them through. Not as many, but people still send them through.
They find the link.
Well, no, it's the same link. The link hasn't changed. If you go to any of our social media pages and click our link, the link tree comes up and there's a thing that says voice messages. So you can send one in all the time.
So now you're telling them.
Yes.
I'm not a detective, mate.
It's been this way for a long time.
You hear this?
Yeah.
You're a detective on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different.
So if you...
passionate about that.
Yeah, so if people want to send them through just, middle of the week, they can. I'm probably not going to listen, but they can still do it. So let's play a couple. Thank you for those who sent them through. Can't play all of them, but thank you for those who've contributed. First one's up is Baz. Thanks, Baz.
I'll tell you what. If I was a fringe Collingwood player, I'd be licking my lips every time I saw Anzac Day roll around on the footy calendar each year. Boy, oh boy.
It's fair from Baz. It's pretty fair.
I reckon their bottom few are, really bad.
Yeah.
Granted, they're missing heaps of players.
They're missing about 5.
They're missing about 5 players.
Yeah.
But they're
a bloody good team.
Trey must go.
He's just must.
He must go. Yeah. Trey must go. Next one's from Hicker. Thank you, Hicker.
G'day, boys. had a bit of time to reflect on this. Obviously not as disappointed as I was initially. Last quarter was obviously very disappointing, but young team, run out of legs. It happens. Played Geelong in 4 days. Maybe blood some of the young boys, give a few of the boys a rest. Take the L, we're going to lose anyway. It's a shitty ass fucking break, isn't it? And then recoup, put the game plan back into action. We'll come out of this. We're all right. Go Plains.
Thoughts?
It's good. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I probably should have looked at it like that all day.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Couldn't.
he's right.
Yeah. It sucks.
Pragmatic, I think.
It sucks. Pragmatic, great word. Next one's from Lurker. I've been enjoying these from Lurker. I'm not sure if you've heard the recent ones from the Lurk. They're pretty good. So let's have a listen.
Mealy mouthed MRO mauls merit. Magpies make most of it. Midfield mainly mediocre. Margin measly. Ginnivan's a goose. Christian's a cockhead.
Lurker.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
I don't know what Lurker looks like, but I'm just imagining a really big guy with a big beard and long hair who probably lives in a cabin somewhere. That's just what I'm imagining that Lurker looks like. A bit like a, you know, like
So me in 5 years.
like a Yeti sort of like man. Maybe he's a lumberjack in his spare time. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I'm imagining from Lurker. I love it though. I absolutely love it. We've got a couple more to go. Next one is from Michael. Thank you, Michael.
Hey guys, don't want to sound negative, but I'm just not as generous as some fans, you know, because at the end of the day, we've just lost another unlosable game. And, you know, if you just go through the last 15 years, you know, even back to the Man United era, you know, like the amount of times we've either lost to the bottom side or blown a mega lead is just gut-wrenching, you know, and I just wonder, you know, hopefully Brad Scott's the one to fix this, but I just wonder, you know, when we're going to fix it, because
it cuts off there. I will say they're far from a bottom side. That's the first point. So they've.
I don't think it was.
I know that was one of their biggest comebacks, but they've been doing that. They've been mowing teams down for the last 18 months, just about. But yeah, this is unfortunately just an old, very familiar feeling for Essendon fans, and
we all knew it was coming at 3/4 time.
Yeah,
like there was definitely a feeling there, but
yeah.
We shouldn't have.
Yeah. I did see a comment from someone somewhere where on like an AFL post or something, someone was like, oh, Essendon absolutely bottled it, yada, yada. And someone commented and go, did they bottle it if it's just normal for Essendon to do it? And everyone was like, yeah, no, that's pretty true. That's pretty true. But anyway, let's get on to Rem. Thank you, Rem. Our last one here.
Hey, boys, what a fucking loss yesterday. I reckon I felt my asshole close in at a rate of fucking knots in that fourth quarter. It was fucking traumatizing. I thought Lav going down really hurt us yesterday. I thought the coaches were probably a little bit too reactive to that. They probably didn't need to move Langford down back, and they didn't need to take Setterfield off to Goey. But I thought structurally it just really fucked us over. I think he's going to be a big loss for us. I don't really know who comes in for him. Especially against Geelong, with the Hawkins hitting his straps and a Cameron basically just fucking kicking goals from anywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do next week. Fuck the Pies and fuck Dacos. Go the Plains.
Some good points in there about Laverty.
A lot of good points at the end as well.
And then a few Fs at the end, which we enjoy.
Consistently good, that one.
And some graphic information about some, downstairs body parts we probably didn't need, but that's okay. That's okay. We take that. It is
get it a lot.
It is the hot take segment. It does amaze me how many of our hot takes involve someone's member, to be honest. It's definitely a theme. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's something we encouraged in our discussion, but it's definitely a theme.
Keep them coming. Don't stop.
Yeah, don't stop. Well, that's all our hot takes for today. Like I said, didn't have that many to go through. I did just want to ask you guys a question, though. We got a question from our Discord. Shout out to all the lovely people in our Discord. If you're a premium member, you can get access. This one's from GS Dave. And I thought this was a good one to mention. After watching both Anzac Day games as two of the biggest partisan AFL games of the year, are umpires more inconsistent when they react to big crowds than in a normal game? Or is maybe the fourth umpire considering more doubt this year? Thought after last night, and I'm more convinced today. So obviously last night being the Melbourne-Richmond game. What are your thoughts on that one, Mert?
I think it just gets worse every year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Worse every year? What do you reckon?
Yeah, like I haven't given it too much thought, but if you've got an extra umpire out there, you've got an extra set of eyes, which are more likely to make a call, I guess.
Yeah.
An extra mouth on a whistle.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, we probably need a little bit more sample data, but I feel like with 4 umpires, we are going to see a slight increase in free kicks just per game in general. Like you're saying, if there's more people to see things go wrong, then
yeah, well, there's not going to be less. It's not like one umpire is going to call it and the one's going to be like, nah, that was wrong. Let's ball it up or something. So
yeah, I don't really know how that hierarchy works. If one umpire calls it, the other one can't be like, no, you're wrong, mate. Like, I'm not sure how that works. Anyway,
just get rid of them.
Yeah. We'll just have no umpires. Just
yeah,
a free
that'd
for
be
all.
perfect.
Just a free for all game. No rules.
Voss straight in.
Voss straight in.
Yeah. I won't get started on my umpire chat, but I just think they have way too much of an influence on games these days. And I think clearly the directives from the AFL are confusing umpires, and I don't necessarily blame them for that. But at the same time, like, there's just so many calls. And so many calls that just aren't addressed. Like the umpire's understanding almost universally of ruck contests is just completely flawed. I don't know what this idea of blocking in a ruck contest or where it's come from, but the whole point of a ruck contest is that the two big blokes jump into each other and protect the drop of the ball by blocking their opponent. Like, that's the whole point of it. And every so often, they just call a blocking free kick and no one questions it. Like, yeah, for me, umpires should be past players up to a certain level, whether it's, VAFA, Premier League or something. I'm sure no one will actually do it, or VFL or something like that. But someone with an actual understanding of the game from a player's perspective. Yeah. Because at the moment, it's just fundamentally lacking and the game suffers as a result. Yeah. And you can't explain, the AFL want to take the game universally, maybe not universally, globally. Yeah. You can't explain to someone.
Haven't gone to Tassie
yet. you can't explain to someone from America why something is high and why another thing is not high, or why that's dropping the ball and that's not dropping the ball, or what holding the ball is, why something's in the back, why something else isn't in the back. And it's all due to inconsistency of umpiring and application of the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Not because they're American.
Also because you're explaining it to some absolute idiots.
That can happen too. Let's park it there. Good to talk about that game and get it off our chest. Let us never speak of that last quarter again, or at least let's try to avoid it as much as possible. We'll be okay. Things outside of that are progressing in the right direction, so let's be okay. Let's move forward. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll chat to Paul about the VFL after this. This halftime break is brought to you by Liquorland. Pop into your local Liquorland today and pick up all your favourite drinks like the new Hahn Ultra Low Carb Beer, which is available in 6-packs and cartons of 24 at Liquorland, Mert. I know you love a Hahn.
Oh, mate, Hahn, changed your life.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Certainly made our weekend in South Australia.
It was everywhere in South Australia, absolutely everywhere. You couldn't move for Hahn, and we enjoyed a couple, it's fair to say.
Unbelievable off tap, even better in a bottle, mate.
There you go. Liquorland, have all your drinks for when the siren calls. Liquorland, from the land you love. Please drink responsibly. Welcome back. It is that time again on a Wednesday where we chat with our great friend Paul Cousins for the VFL Wrap, coming to us live from his holiday in the Northern Territory. Paul, how are we going?
I'm good, lads. This Wednesday business has thrown me through a loop, though. I'm thinking it's Monday night while I talk to you.
You're not wrong.
You've only just reminded me, really. Wow.
To be out.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of Monday-itis about today. I'll say that. So
I've only just realised then. Wow.
it's the most Monday or Wednesday's ever felt for me. I reckon. But Paul, looking to the game on the weekend, unfortunately, a little bit of a similar story to the AFL where the Pies came home strong in the last quarter.
We've had this a couple of times this year, haven't we? Where the VFL have sort of mirrored the AFL a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But that happened again on the weekend, unfortunately. We were probably the better team for the majority of the day, but got overrun in the last quarter, a bit like the AFL boys. So I think we had not quite as big a lead. I think we were 12, 14 points up maybe at three-quarter time, and had looked the better team for, as I said, for most of the day. But unfortunately, the Pies on their home deck were able to get over the top of us.
Now, Paul, a favourite on this show, Zach Reid has returned to some competitive football after a fair layoff of time. How was his introduction back?
For a guy who's missed as much footy as he has, it was really good. Like he had a few rusty moments, as one would expect after not having played for, well, I don't know how long, but a really long time. I mean, he was out for a lot of last year and, was able to get back and had some really nice moments, ball in hand. He had a couple of, as I said, a couple of sort of rusty moments with a few sort of, just drop footies and that sort of stuff where you're perhaps not quite as sharp as you might be in a couple of weeks. But, when he had ball in hand, you could certainly see that class, and he looked to be moving really well. So all really positive signs for Reedy.
Love to hear that. Now, Nick Bryan, Paul, he's been back for a few weeks. I heard he had a pretty decent game. How did you see it?
Yeah, he looked terrific. Braza, I think we talked last week, was his first game back, and he'd really slotted back in like he'd never missed, and continued that on the weekend. He was really dominant in the ruck contests, and played extremely well around the ground as well. So, he's a guy who I think we've talked about a lot, where he'd be playing AFL footy at a lot of clubs. I think he's sort of continuing with a lot of that form. I reckon I remember him having like 45 hitouts or something in the game. Like, was a big number, as well as sort of mid to high teens numbers around the ground, I think. So, he played really well, looked really strong, and continues his good form.
Did he spend any time up forward?
He spent a little bit of time up there. Yeah, he did. I recall him having a shot on goal. I don't think he hit the scoreboard, but I don't think he kicked a goal. But I recall him having a shot and spending some time forward. I know he took quite a lot of marks. I reckon he took double-figure marks for the day as well. So he'll continue to work on that forward craft, I'm sure. We've sort of seen with, again, we've talked about it, but we've seen with Flip and Drapes being able to rotate forward, what a weapon that's been for the AFL side the last few weeks, including yesterday, I thought. So, not always with A1 results necessarily. We don't know, Drapes missed one late, but those guys are able to generate a lot of scoring opportunities for us by rotating well in that forward slot. So I'm sure that's, a real area of focus for Braza to continue to develop his forward craft.
And one of the 2022 draftees, Paul, Lewis Hayes, new kid on the block, playing as a centre-half back. How's he been? How was he on the weekend?
Yeah, I really like him. He's a terrific prospect, I reckon. Hazy, he's a young kid and got a build of a young kid. He'll certainly develop. I don't mean offensively in any way to Hazy if you're listening, but he'll certainly put on weight and develop over time. But his footing nous and his ability to read the play, intercept mark, know when to go and stay, all those things are really top notch. I think he's a terrific prospect. I think he can really be a player if he continues to develop, and I thought he was good on the weekend.
And I've heard he has some similarities to a young Dustin Fletcher, Paul.
Well, I reckon if we had this conversation 2 years ago, it would have been about Zach Reed. Everyone wants to say someone's got some similarities to Dustin Fletcher, but the skinny, long arms, elite sort of intercept marking, that sort of stuff, and the ability to make a late spoil and all those things lend themselves to Fletch comparisons, don't they? And look, he's got all of those things and then some. So he's a really neat user of the footy as well at times. So there's a lot to work with Hazy. He's, as I said, he's very young, pretty raw from a physical standpoint. When you're talking AFL body, but there's a lot of talent there, and I really like him as a prospect.
Now, Paul, the AFL is going to have a very quick turnaround with the game this Sunday. Now, we know a few players were held over for that reason, and we expect there to be a few changes. But pure speculation on your part, is there anyone in the VFL you think may potentially make a call-up this Sunday?
Oh, I love to speculate. You know that, boys. It's a funny one, actually, isn't it? Because we've got the bye at VFL level, and AFL have got this super quick turnaround, so it couldn't be more different for us. But the obvious name, I guess, would be Nick Hind, who had been the sub a couple of times and then got held over on the weekend. Waller, of course, would be another that people will be talking about. I would think, Hindy was probably, I thought he had really good impact a couple of times as the sub. But you also don't want to play the same guy as the sub, for a month, do you? I think you can play guys out of form doing that. So, perhaps he gets a freshen up and maybe he gets a crack at a starting spot next week. I think that'd be a reasonable bet, without having any clue what the coaches are going to do. But you'd love to see Waller come back in. I know he's continued to do a real fitness block. I thought he moved pretty well with us 2 weeks ago in his return game, and has been working really hard on his fitness. So maybe they throw him in there and give him a crack as well. As you said, a fair few guys sort of got carried over, and no one was really sure who was going to be the sub or whatever. It ended up being Hobbsy. Maybe Hobbsy gets a crack at a starting spot as well, having been the sub and only played a quarter on the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go. I think the senior coaching group have shown a little bit of a tendency to like to play the same group or relatively same group. That we haven't certainly had a week of big changes as yet, even when us fans have been calling for it, or So I think they've stuck pretty fat with their group thus far. And unless there's guys who are sore, and there might be, coming off the short break, if that's the case, they won't, risk guys, obviously, with injuries and stuff. But I wouldn't expect huge changes unless they're absolutely necessary.
Well, it's looking like one of the key changes is going to have to be, early stages, obviously, but we're looking down the barrel of a Jaden Laverty out, Paul. Couple of names in the VFL that spring to mind, Montgomery and McBride. Either of those blokes, do you think any chance of coming up? Or if not, who would you say?
I suspect Kean's missed a little bit of footy and might still be suspended, maybe.
Nice.
I can't
like
remember how many. So I suspect he won't. But Monty, you would say, would be a chance. He's a mature body. He's a really aggressive guy at the footy, as we've talked about, and sort of flies at everything. And, a bit like I think I've compared him to Brandon Zerk-Thatcher a few years ago, where he sort of Thatch used to leave a Thatch-shaped hole in the wall when he went at things, and Monty's a bit like that too. If he makes a blue, it's a positive blue because he's attacking the footy. So you like to see that. Whether they think he's quite ready, I'm not sure. He's only obviously played a handful of AFL games, but I would think the obvious name for me would probably be Kane Baldwin, who's been playing really good footy. Missed a week or two with concussion, but has come back again and held his own really well. And, from a size point of view, like if you were thinking of someone to play on Tom Hawkins, for example, he's probably, even though he's a young bloke, he's a huge body, boulders and very strong. And, maybe they throw him the challenge and give him a crack. Having played a little bit of AFL footy and having a bit of experience coming up against a side like Geelong, it's pure speculation, but that's what you were asking for. So I would think Boulders would probably be at the front of the queue to replace Doss if they choose to go that way.
We love that.
We love that.
One of our favourites down here, Paul.
Yep. Beautiful speculation, Paul. We
Thank you, boys.
love the insight that you're giving us. Now,
my pleasure.
It is a bye, as you mentioned, but the 7th of May, Sunday the 7th of May, Essendon are playing the Werribee Tigers at the NEC Hangar, 2 p.m. Paul, hopefully a lovely day.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Last time we were at the Hangar, it was 4 seasons in about 8 minutes. So hopefully we can, just have either rain or wind or sun or snow, not sort of all 4.
Yeah.
Next time we're out there, that'd be nice. The Tigers are humming along pretty nicely at the moment, so that'll be a good challenge for us.
Beautiful. Paul, generous with your time as always. Hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday, and we'll touch base in a couple of weeks.
Always a pleasure, you blokes.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Have a good one.
No worries.
There we go, boys. Paul,
you heard it
as always.
You heard it first. Kane Baldwin in.
Kane Baldwin in. Yeah. He was it was the one I was thinking about, but obviously the recent concussion, there is a concern, but it makes sense. It does make sense.
No Vossi chat.
No Vossi chat. Well, he didn't kick a bag this weekend, so we parked the Vossi chat for a week, and I feel like Vossi will be.
Unless Langford goes back, Voss comes in.
It's disappointing a bit because, I mean, if he had timed his form to this week, you think he'd actually be a chance.
Possibly, but
especially
Jones.
with the
I reckon he's still a chance, though.
But Jones will come in. Wade played well, assuming he's recovers well. I guess I was like, so much. It just depends on if some people recover well or not. Like I imagine it'll be little to no track time this week.
Nothing.
It'll be very little
skills.
Yeah, skills, captain's run, a few ice bars and the video, and that'll be it.
Yeah,
that'll be it. Some other news which has come from absolute left field. TBC, Tom Bell-Chambers, is going up in a boxing match against former Geelong Premiership player and Fox Footy's Cam Mooney, of all people. Which...
What?
Bizarre.
When? Where?
Don't know. Don't know any of the information. I just know that it was announced, and I saw Tom.
Have they got beef, or are they both turning pro?
I don't feel like Belly's really a kind of fighting type.
I don't know. I feel like.
Guess we'll find out.
I feel like if Tommy hit you, it would really hurt. But I feel like he would be a little bit slower than Mooney. But Mooney's a bit older.
Mooney's pretty old.
I mean,
yeah.
Is Fox not doing that well? I don't know why he's not. Why is he in the fight? I don't know. Either way,
see, I'd like to see like.
Can't wait.
Robbo v. Jared Waitley.
Unfortunately, I don't think Robbo's in too good condition these days. So
Cam Mooney's 43. What would Bell-Chambers be? 35?
35. Yeah.
What's that?
Wow.
Jeez, if he loses.
Bell-Chambers is 33.
He smokes him.
Surely
10 years.
Surely just rattles it. Surely it's one good punch and Tom Bell-Chambers wins. We'll have to get him on. I'll hit him up and say, come on the pod, we'll talk Dons, and then we can promote your fight. I reckon he'll do it.
Might as
well. Who would win out of Nick Dacos and Jack Ginnivan?
Probably Dacos. Oh.
They'd both go down in the first round.
Is there such a thing as Is there such a thing as a mutual KO? Is that a thing?
No, there is.
So they both go at the same time?
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I'd watch that.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give him the
Wouldn't give him the time of day. Wouldn't give him the time of day. Boys, I hope this was enough therapy for you both.
I actually don't think it was.
Don't think it was?
No.
I'm still so cut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm still dark.
I'm sorry.
And like only going to be darker by, next Sunday.
Oh my God. How many goals is Jeremy Cameron going to kick?
Well, if you could do 10 or more on Sportsbet, I'd probably give it a little cheeky dabble.
This fixturing.
Well, you know what's funny? Collingwood and
Nothing is funny.
This isn't funny because we play Collingwood on bloody Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then we play Sunday against the
Geelong.
reigning premiers.
Yeah.
And they're playing against Adelaide, the former. Did they get the spoon?
No. North got the spoon.
Where did Adelaide finish last year?
Bottom 5. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Adelaide are going to smoke them though.
It doesn't matter. That's not how the fixture works before it comes out. That is absolute bullshit.
I'm 100% tipping against the teams who played on Monday and Tuesday.
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend.
But what I'm saying here is this: what the fixtures put out before the start of the year.
Yeah, which the thing I don't understand is
Collingwood were a top 4 team.
No, but why knowing that Anzac Day is on a Tuesday, then you're going to game on the Monday night and then a game on the Tuesday. Why this weekend are we not playing Melbourne on Sunday and they're playing Richmond Collingwood on the Saturday night?
Well, they play Melbourne on the Queen's birthday /
No. We play, but because of Dream Queen's birthday, but we should be playing Melbourne this weekend. They should be playing Richmond. That is fair coming off this break. And look, I know there are teams who do the Sunday to Friday occasionally, but that's rare these days. This is pure bad fixturing.
It's Gill, mate.
It's
doing an awful
it's
job.
It's Gill. No, he's about to go. Look,
mate, he retired over a year ago. Now.
He's doing the John Farnham farewell tour, I think.
Yeah, he's doing a shit job.
He's doing the Elton John, thanks for the memories. Now, look, you said the therapy hasn't worked, but could I prescribe you something, perchance? Could I maybe just prescribe you something?
That's going to make it worse.
To help you get through.
Is that a Han?
It could be. It could be people who aren't watching on video. It definitely could be a Han. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry this hasn't helped. I might, what I'll do? Let's park the pod. 5 years or 7 years, I'll go get a degree, come back, and I'll be a licensed therapist, and then we'll take it from there. How does that sound?
We'll get a couch over in the corner. Although that looks pretty comfy there.
There is a really good couch there in the corner here at Castaway Studios. So maybe we could do a bit of a one-on-one. It's a bit of a between two ferns vibe going on in the corner there.
Definitely.
It's good. Maybe we'll get Bell Chambers in one of those. We'll get Belly in one, then we'll get Mooney in the other.
That'll be fun.
They can have a chat. Anyway, listeners, thank you as always for your support. Thanks for listening to the show. We're doing a pod tomorrow. How about that? 2 pods in 2 days for me.
Are we actually?
My God.
You're not. I am.
Okay.
Thank God.
So tomorrow, tomorrow.
I was like, I won't leave. Then I'll just stay here overnight. I should have brought my work laptop.
It'll be a remote.
Okay.
But tomorrow. I'm previewing the Geelong game with Joel and Jesse. So how good's that?
Tell them we say hi.
Pod on a Wednesday, pod on a Thursday.
It's too soon, mate.
I know. I mean, we could do it Friday, but it's Friday afternoon. I don't think anyone.
No, but that's still too soon.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing back-to-back pods in 2 days. If you want to listen to tomorrow's show, you should sign up to become a premium member. $4.99 a month or $42 for the year. You get access to extra content. You'll probably get access to some tickets for an event that we're going to try and put on later in the year, and you'll get that access first if you're a premium listener.
Mm-hmm.
You also get access to our Discord, where there's some fabulous conversations going on. Memes are good. Questions are good.
You could even get access to...
We provide you with Mert's mobile home number and his address.
Yeah.
Copy of his house key as well, yeah.
I do have a landline home number, so that's what you'll get.
we should give that out.
You'll also get access to photos with me, cross-eyed with Paco.
That is genuinely the best photo.
Did you put that one on there? Because I put the one of us and Setterfield at the airport in the Discord.
I don't think I've ever been on Discord.
You have been on there.
I've been there to abuse some people.
my favorite. So if you haven't been on recently, Ryan, you should get on. Now you're on social media. Just get on Discord.
Oh no! But I'm done with all that stuff.
No, it's good. So
are people still listening? Or are we on?
Yeah, we're still going. We're still going. This is that thing where I say we're wrapping up and then we keep going. We are about to finish, Derek. I know you want to go home. We are about to finish. I'll just say, my favourite thread in the Discord right now is one that's just called #sightings. Purely, it's either where you write down that you saw someone at a cafe or you send in photos. And there have been some pretty funny ones because someone sent through a photo of a Coles truck. And you know Coles trucks have names on them?
No.
Well, Coles trucks have names on them. There was a Coles truck and its name was Zerk Thatcher.
No.
I know. And there's a photo of it right here. And I thought that was really good. So thanks to James who sent that one through. So I'm loving that thread, because it's honestly a lot of really funny photos. Court got a great one at the AFL 23 launch with Dyson Heppel, which was good. So she got a photo with him.
Love it.
And then there's just a lot of like people being like, got a coffee, Saul Laverde, massive, like stuff like that. It's a great thread.
Yeah.
Like it.
Go down,
great thread.
Go down to Port Melbourne. You'll see the whole list.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone on YouTube for watching. Thanks to subscribers, sponsors, everyone who helps make the show happen. It's okay, everyone. We'll get through this. I've been your licensed therapist, Rob. Till next time.
Thank you.
Go Plains. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Sash, and thanks to Liquorland, who are proud partners of the podcast. Liquorland, have all your drinks for when the siren calls. Liquorland, from the land you love, please drink responsibly.